All right, so this episode, we're going to talk about making the money work for you. So I want to get more detail into money, like how, and the money numbers, and how the money is used in Shopify and where the money goes, and like how putting a number on different services and putting a number on scenarios. For example, if an agency charges you $25,000 to work with them, right? So an agent, let's say you have $1 million in the bank, and an agency comes to you and they say, "Hey, I can get you sales on Shopify," and they say, "Hey, we can at least 30% on your first campaign, and over time it'll go up to a maximum 450%, right?" So let's take these numbers down, and let's crunch and see, okay, where does this money go, and how do these numbers stack up in the different services? So if somebody tells you Facebook ads, where does that money go, and how much money does it make? Google ads, where does that money go? How much does it make? Copywriting, how much does that make for you with that million? How much does that go into that, right? What is the cost if I don't pay that, right? What if the cost if I don't pay you the $25K? How much does copywriting go into the $25K that I'm paying you? How much does the SEO cost me? Not the cost, but the benefit as well. And if you don't do that, how much would that cost me? So you're basically, trying to, let's say you're trying to cheat the system, and you're saying, okay, I don't want to pay for copy, but I need website design. Oh, everybody offers web design. I can get that for $700, but I'm paying you $25,000, right? So let's do like a breakdown, right? So you have $1 million, right? So let's just say you go to a website designer and you're like, I need a website design because I'm trying to sell on Shopify. And he tells you, okay, I charge $300, right? So he makes you a website, right? But what products are you selling, right? So you just got a website. Let's say I want to sell ping pong tables, right? You say I want to sell ping pong tables, and he makes you a website. You just paid $300. So now you have, 9.9 million and some change, right? Because you just paid $300 for a website. Or 909,000, whatever, right? So you have a website. Now what are you going to sell? Ping pong tables. How are you going to get those ping pong tables? Let's say you go to a website that sells ping pong tables, and you find some ping pong tables that are like $500 each, and you're like, okay, I'm going to sell these ping pong tables for $999.99, or $1,000, $999.99, but I'm getting them for $500. So I make about 100%, 90%. Let's just say 80. With shipping, ping pong table is pretty big, and then you got weight, and then you got. Yeah, so let's just say you're making, let's just say 65% profit, just to be safe, right? So you're making 65% profit organically, like no ad spend, nothing. You just put up a site and you're selling, right? That's the scenario, but that's not going to happen. So let's just take the sales off. You're making 65% profit based on your margins, right? So now what? You have the website design, but their copy is bad. You have to write your titles, right? The titles have to be good. They have to be good enough for Google. They have to look good on Google when people search them in. So what's that? That's copywriting, right? So you need a copywriter. So you spend $300 on a website, and now how are you going to get those products on the store? You see? Because you're pretty much scraping a product from another website and you're putting it on your website. So now you have to use their titles, you have to use their images, you have to use their descriptions, Or are you going to use their photos on their website? You see? You see? Now you got to put the apps in your website store. You need the right checkout. Like, a website designer is not going to do all of this. They just designing a website, right? And then they're going to take your money and that's it. Now you need the management. So you need somebody to manage the website. You have to make sure all your payments are going through. You have to make sure that the titles is good. The pictures are up to date. The pictures are rotating. There's no bugs. Everything's aligned. The photos are aligned. The photos are original. Well, they don't necessarily have to be original, but it helps to be original. So now, you only spent $300, right? So you're trying to make a profit with that, right? So that's not going to work. So now you need a copywriter. So you have different kind of copywriters. You got front page, you got home page, you got sales copy, you got product description copy, you got product title copy. Then you got meta description copy, you got tag copy, you got alt text copy, you got announcement bar copy, you got refund policy copy, you got sales copy, you got terms and conditions copy, you got about us copy, you see, that's like $1,000 quote right there. That's about another 1,000 right there just to do that. So now you got to manage your products to make sure the sales stay the same. Make sure the inventory is good. So that's product management. That's another 500 at least. Now you got a Google Ads guy. So you got to run advertisements because you're not going to rank. So that's another, 500 or 300. Let's just say 300. So 300 Google Ads. And that don't even include the money you got to put in. So you got to have ad spend, a minimum 500. Well, we do a minimum 1,000. So you need a minimum 1,000 for Google ads and Facebook ads. I'm not even going to say 1,000 Facebook, 1,000 Google. I'm just going to say 1,000 for both. So, boom, right? Remember, this company is charging you $25K for everything, right? So you just said, I'm going to get this, I'm going to get this, I'm going to get this. So now you have to make sure you hire the right people. And then also you have to do the SEO. So the SEO, that's another 500. So that's another 500 a month. So if you're going to get anybody good now, so now you're ranked. So now that's about 4,000 you're paying. So these guys going to give you the keyword strategy. So your copy has to match your keywording. Because if your copy don't match your keyword, when they search on Google, is not going to match. So not only that, but your keyword has to match your advertisements. So you can rank faster. So you're pushing and pulling. So that's what I'm saying. So if a company charges you $25,000 for all of this, you're paying for certainty. You can be like, oh yeah, all of that'll cost me $10,000, but if I pay this company $25,000, I'm saving $15,000. No, you're not saving $15,000 because you haven't even worked with these people. You're just putting a quote with a job. You don't know how they're going to do. You don't know how they're going to work together, right? You see what I'm saying? You have to be that generalist already if you're going to cut that budget. If you're going to cut that budget, you don't want to pay this company $25K, then you have to already be good enough to know who to hire and put that together, right? So learning and being a generalist is how you avoid paying that amount. Or you can just be like, oh, I'm just going to pay the $25K. I put in $1 million and then, okay, they promised me 30%. And then a snowball effect over time. Why would I even hire those guys? So now you got to take in fees, reoccurring fees. You don't even trust then you have to pay multiple invoices. So that's like 5 to 10 invoices you're going to have to pay when you could just pay one. Oh yeah, that doesn't even include your sales team. So your sales team is going to be, if you're going to get anybody good, you're going to pay at least $3,000 a month. So that's another $3,000 a month for a sales team. And they have to be good enough to sell what you're selling. They have to be good enough to sell a ping pong table. If they can't sell a ping pong table, then you see what I'm saying? You have to have somebody good enough to do that. And you have to put that process together with what you're spending. So that's about, what, $13,000? So we had copywriting, Google Ads, SEO, keyword strategy through copy, and Google Shopping, Facebook, that don't even include your social media strategy. So this is just saying you don't have no social media content guy, right? So let's just add even if you're the one who's doing it, that's time, right? So maybe you got a job, so now you have to do that too, right? So we can throw in another $500 for that, because even if you're working and you stop working to do it, so it's costing you the time anyway. So that's like so $15,000, and then you still got to pay for certain apps, and you got your domain that's cheap. So Shopify is charging you, what, 40 or maybe 100 a month. So you got 100 a month Shopify. You got your domain. That doesn't include your Google Suite. So if you're doing cold outreach, you're doing cold email outreach, you need a Suite account, right? You need Suite, you need Workspace, you see. So that's another what? that's depend on the management. So we can even throw in what, $400 or $500 for that. So now you at $16,000. So you just built a team, a Shopify team that's really good with $16,000. Right? So you just built that store. Well, not just the store, but advertisement, blah, 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 Facebook page. Now, that don't include if you're going to do. So let's just say you want to do Pinterest, you want to do Etsy, which I recommend. You want to do eBay, you want to do Facebook shop and Instagram shop. So now you have to get approval for that. You can hire someone to get you approved. So that's another 100 or 200, right? For both. You have to list the products on there. So you have to hire somebody to do that. This is you going wide, right? So you have to list it. Now you got to list everything on Etsy. So that's another $50. Then you got to list, and you got to make sure all your tags so you can rank on Etsy. So you're getting raw traffic. You can do that yourself, or you will pay. That's another $50 or $100. Now you want to start an eBay shop. That's another 100 to 200, right? So now you're looking at about 15.5K, right? You see? Now, or you could just hire somebody to do it all, and you're going to produce a profit. Or you can, like I said, or you could try to do it on your own, but that's a lot of people. That's a lot to manage unless you're a good generalist. But if you're good enough to do that, you don't need to invest the $25K. But that I'm just putting it into perspective of the numbers with the service and how it all aligns together. Because I know a lot of people will listen to this and they'll be like, oh, I don't want to invest that much. Well, if you don't want to invest that much and people don't see the value in things, especially in digital marketing, if you're not educated, then it's good to know, at least have a number figure to what something will cost. And these numbers are give and take. I know people be like, oh, no, that'll cost more, or that'll cost this, or that. Like, I'm just giving estimates. So, yeah.